already rolling and in place down there with Jared Dreher. And as soon as we can get word from the top end, we will pass it on to you. But until that point in time, we will just let you know that the crew is doing what they need to do. The safety crew has responded. If you are not a part of the safety crew and the NHRA or Gateway staff, please stay back and please stay out of the way. Let the safety crew do what they need to do. Word is that Jared Dreher is out of the car. The medical crew is checking him out now, but he is out of the automobile after the blowover down there at the half-track mark. And whew, it is so good to hear that all the NHRA mandated safety equipment, the belts, the harnesses, the head restraints, the helmets, the gloves, the boots, everything doing what it needed to do to protect Jared. And that car had slowly been coming around to them. They were quicker to 60 feet than what Julie was. But by the 330-foot mark, the front end had started to climb, and it just kept coming up until the car caught air and flipped over backwards, landing over on the Mopar Express side of the racetrack. A wild ride for Jared Dreher. But again, he is out of the car, being checked out by the medical staff down at the other end of the racetrack. And that, of course, is the good news. Jared able to get out of the car under his own power. So Julie goes 530 at 274 miles an hour, able to claim the win and able to claim lane choice for the semifinals coming tomorrow. But obviously the big news there is Jared Dreher's machine coming up until it caught air and went over in a blowover. We've seen it happen before. Sometimes just a small mechanical break allows the wings or the car to get a little air underneath the front. And in the spirit of competition, you want to stay with it just as much as you can. But for Jared that time, tough break there as the car up and over and coming to a crash or coming to a halt over here on the Mopar Express side of the racetrack. We'll give you further updates as we get them, but again, Jared Dreher out of the car at the other end and being checked out by the medical crew on site here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And that, of course, is the good news. Jared out of the automobile. So top end cleanup going on now, getting Jared Dreher's hot rod parts and pieces picked up, taken care of, making sure our track's clean, green, and safe before we get ready to go with our final pair in the opening round of eliminations. Here in the alcohol dragster ranks, again, Jared Dreher out of the car, being attended to by the medical staff down at the other end of the racetrack, and that, of course, is the good news, is that Jared was able to extricate himself from the car himself and meet up with the medical folks. So they're checking him out at the top end. We get any reports, we'll be sure to pass it on to you, but a tremendous blowover by Jared Dreher. After qualifying number 6 in the field, consistent low 530 machine. Got out there and the front end started to climb just past the 330 mark, and by half track it was up and over. And came down over on the right-hand side of the racetrack in the Mopar Express lane. So get that taken care of and attended to. And get all of our track personnel back in place. We'll be ready to go with our final pair, Will Smith and Mick Steele, coming out to wrap up the opening round of eliminations in our alcohol dragster program. A tough break for Jared and Randy Dreher and the family. That car really starting to come around for them, and they were starting to feel really comfortable with the pipe in the car, and now it's hard to say what kind of damage the car sustained, but obviously in a blowover, it's not minimal damage. So we'll just have to wait and see how they recoup and how they return. But boy, they were certainly showing some strong progress with that new car for them. And a tough break in the blowover here in the opening round of eliminations. Alcohol Dragster round 1 will continue here shortly. Alcohol Funny Car round number 1 right behind them, and then our opening round of Super Comp scheduled to close out the evening. So it looks like top end's pretty much cleared up. A fresh drag of the track to make sure we are good, safe and secure as we get ready to continue on our final pair. In the opening round of Alcohol Dragster, Will Smith and Mick Steele. Going to mix it up and see which one of them gets to come back and run. Be dubbing in that semi-final round tomorrow. By the way, Dave Harada, I had a inquiring mind want to know. Send me a message. Wanted to know where the Mohawk was. As we get ready to continue on. You let it grow out a little bit, huh? Okay. So, Will Smith, Mick Steele, as we get ready to pick up where we left off. Final pair in the opening round of top alcohol dragster eliminations. Will out of the number 1 qualifying spot, taking on Mick, who is in the number 8 spot. But I got to tell you, the way this field is paired up and worked its way through eliminations, it's anybody's race. It's a matter of who's ready at the right time to move on and advance. So again, tip of the cap to all the NHRA safety equipment. Jared Dreher able to walk away from that pirouette blowover, if you will, as the car went up, twisted, turned, and then came back down. Transferred from the left lane to the right lane. Jared able to get out of the car. Medical staff on site checked him out. Jared says, I want to watch the rest of the show. Mick Steele, 5:32, a best in qualifying. The Ditch Witch and Copeland chassis car over here on the Mopar Express lane. And for Will Smith, Dave Arata and crew. Will even added the SSP, the old Kidder Toy sticker that was on Jim Booker's hot rod back in the day. As each and every panel on that car representing each panel on the car representing a Top Fuel legendary car of old. And Will with a number one qualifying 5:21 and top speed of the meet at 280 miles an hour. Sits inside that machine of Dave Arata over on the AAA Insurance side of the racetrack. Final pair, round number one, Alcohol Dragster and a pair of injected cars. Getting ready to duke it out. Dave says, go get them, Will. Nick lights the top bulb and waits patiently for Will. They both creep in, light the bottom bulbs. And Mick Steele's going to the semifinals with a 5:61. Will Smith's machine came off the line, made it about 60 feet, and then started dancing. Up and down, over and out, moving from side to side, 797 at 111 miles an hour. Certainly not the run they expected when they left the pit area, but Mick Steele's 5:61 at 248. It's enough to get him into the semifinals. It's your number one qualifier after that great 5:21 opening or qualifying effort. And the car dances and moves around a little bit. So Will Smith, Dave Arata and crew come up a little bit short in the opening round. Mick Steele, the Copeland chassis hot rod, takes that 5:61, 248. They'll have that to work on for tomorrow's semifinal pair. So Alcohol Dragster semifinals, we'll see them tomorrow. Dean Dubbin will have lane choice over Mick Steele. And Julie Natas will have lane choice over Brandon Greco. Alcohol Funny Car round number one, getting ready to come at us. Should be Chris Houle taking on Tony Bogolo. We saw Bogolo's machine get pulled out through the short chute, as either they found something wrong with the car or elected to just bypass the first round of elimination. Whatever it may be, it'll give Chris Houle a free ride into the semifinals and a runner out of Wyoming for SeaTech Manufacturing. Beautiful Camaro-bodied machine over there on the left-hand side. Your number one qualifier at a 5:50 pace. Chris and Kevin, the brothers out of Wyoming. He's picking up a little bit of help once they get to the racetrack. Michelle T-Bear helped them out the last couple of races. Doing her job one more time. Our stock eliminator driver helping out the boys from Wyoming. Chris gets a free ride into the semifinals tomorrow. A shot to take it down the racetrack. He can earn lane choice for round number 2. Oh, baby, that looked good. 552, 264 miles an hour, right down the groove. Tony Bogolo electing to bypass that run, and after the lap Chris put down, Tony may have made the right decision. 552.8, 264 miles an hour, and that's a pretty staunch run. We'll see how the rest of the field compares as we work our way through the rest of round number 1 of Alcohol Funny Car. But a 552.8, 264 miles an hour certainly isn't anything to sneeze at. And Chris will take it and move on to tomorrow. He'll come back to run either Chris Foster or Kirk Williams. One of the Iowa boys will be alongside come round number 2 tomorrow. We'll figure out which one of those is going to move on to the next round in a little bit. Right now it's Brian Howe and Kyle Smith. Kyle looking, see if he can pick up a round win here. The second-generation driver getting ready to come up in the Mustang, and Brian Howe out of Junction City, Oregon for Cascade Truck and Body Works. Olympus Trailers, Brad Anderson equipped Camaro. There on the left-hand side, your number 3 qualifier. Kyle Smith, Stan Smith, and the crew out of Wichita. Putting it together. Brian does his burnout. Brian qualifying with a 5:55 at best. And his really only good run down the racetrack. The other was an 8:45. And his other run was a 10-second lap. Kyle's been consistently in the 560s. 566, 564, 561. And I got to think, Kyle and Stan probably talked about this and said, hey, we're going to load it up, see if we can get another good 560, high 550 lap out of it. Brian Howe has not been consistent. It's going to take a good run for him to get down the racetrack. Now, granted, Johnny Lindbergh does a little bit of testing on his qualifying runs, but still, you like to have some consistency going into that opening round of eliminations. And for Brian Howe, it just hasn't been there. Kyle Smith has. Run your race, run your lap, do the best you can on your side of the racetrack, and then sit back and see what happens to the guy in the other lane. We're about to find out. Brian left side, Kyle Smith right lane. RPM's up. Brian Howell gets down to track, works the throttle, does not know where Kyle Smith is, comes across at the finish line, taking out the timing cones on a 5-second run. The car spins out at the top end of the racetrack, comes back around into the left-hand wall, and comes to a stop down in the middle of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Kyle goes through at 213 miles an hour. With Brian Howell coming in contact with the wall, coming across the center stripe. Kyle Smith runs down the racetrack at only 213, but does appear